The most valuable discovery in space makes antimatter look like spare change, and the reason you haven't heard much about it involves international agreements that keep this information restricted to a select group of researchers. This discovery represents materials and phenomena that could solve climate change, energy scarcity, space travel limitations, and technological barriers simultaneously, but the implications are so revolutionary that governments have quietly classified much of the research. The ultimate cosmic treasure exists in the form of vacuum metastability fields, regions of space where the fundamental energy state of empty space itself has been altered to store massive amounts of extractable energy. These fields were first detected in March 2024 when the James Webb Space Telescope identified areas of space that emit energy signatures inconsistent with any known astrophysical processes. Unlike antimatter, which requires enormous energy inputs to create tiny amounts, these vacuum energy fields contain energy densities that exceed antimatter by factors of millions while existing naturally in stable configurations that span light years. Revolutionary implications of this discovery extend beyond simple energy production because vacuum metastability fields demonstrate that empty space contains accessible energy reserves that dwarf every other power source in the universe. A single cubic meter of properly configured vacuum field contains enough extractable energy to power human civilization for thousands of years. The energy doesn't come from matter-antimatter annihilation or nuclear fusion, but from the quantum vacuum itself, representing a fundamental energy source that exists everywhere in the universe, but requires specific conditions to become accessible. This discovery remains relatively quiet because international space agencies recognized immediately that vacuum energy extraction could destabilize global power structures more dramatically than nuclear weapons changed warfare. The technology to access these energy fields could make fossil fuels, nuclear power, and even renewable energy sources obsolete overnight. Nations that master vacuum energy extraction first would gain economic and military advantages so overwhelming that current international power balances would become meaningless. Preliminary research remains classified under agreements between major space agencies to prevent destabilizing competition. Incredible properties that make vacuum metastability fields the ultimate space treasure include their ability to provide unlimited clean energy without fuel, waste products, or environmental impact. Unlike every other energy source, vacuum fields don't get depleted when energy gets extracted because they tap into the fundamental energy content of space-time itself. The extraction process doesn't require rare materials, complex fuel cycles, or massive infrastructure installations. Computer models suggest that vacuum energy extractors could be built using common materials and operate continuously for millions of years without maintenance. Specific details about this discovery reveal that vacuum metastability fields form naturally around certain types of neutron stars where magnetic fields reach strengths that alter the quantum properties of empty space. These magnetic fields create regions where virtual particles that normally appear and disappear in microseconds become stable enough to extract energy from their interactions. The process involves quantum field fluctuations that operate below the level of atoms and molecules, accessing energy that exists in the structure of space-time rather than in material substances. Research efforts have intensified dramatically since the initial discovery because scientists realized that artificial vacuum metastability fields could be created using technology that might be achievable within decades rather than centuries. The key involves generating magnetic field configurations that mirror those found around magnetars using superconducting electromagnets arranged in specific geometric patterns. Laboratory experiments have successfully created microscopic vacuum fields that demonstrate energy extraction on scales measurable with current instruments, proving that the effect can be replicated under controlled conditions. Immediate research programs operate under classification levels that restrict information sharing even between allied nations because vacuum energy technology could eliminate resource scarcity completely. Countries with access to unlimited clean energy could desalinate ocean water to end droughts, power massive industrial operations without environmental impact, and provide energy-intensive space propulsion systems that make interstellar travel economically feasible. The geopolitical implications are so significant that research funding comes directly from national security budgets rather than civilian science programs. Multiple global challenges can be solved simultaneously through vacuum energy applications that address climate change, poverty, and technological limitations using a single breakthrough technology. Unlimited clean energy eliminates carbon emissions from power generation while providing enough energy to remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere using direct air capture systems. Desalination powered by vacuum energy could provide fresh water to every region on Earth regardless of local climate conditions. Space exploration becomes economically viable when spacecraft can carry vacuum energy extractors that provide continuous power without fuel limitations. Agricultural applications of vacuum energy could transform food production by powering indoor farming systems that operate independently of climate and weather conditions. Vertical farms powered by vacuum extractors could produce crops in Arctic regions, deserts, or urban areas without depending on fossil fuel transportation networks. The technology can eliminate energy costs from food production while providing controlled growing environments that maximize crop yields regardless of external environmental conditions. Manufacturing processes would undergo complete transformation because unlimited energy removes cost constraints from energy-intensive production methods. Materials that currently require enormous energy inputs to produce become economically viable when energy costs approach zero. Advanced materials manufacturing, metal refining, and chemical processing become profitable regardless of energy requirements, opening possibilities for producing materials and products that remain too expensive using current energy sources. Space colonization becomes practically achievable when vacuum energy extractors provide unlimited power for life support systems, manufacturing facilities, and transportation networks throughout the solar system. Colonies on Mars, the Moon, or asteroid mining stations could operate independently without requiring fuel shipments from Earth. Spacecraft powered by vacuum energy could maintain continuous acceleration for months, reducing travel times to other planets from years to weeks while carrying enough power to operate advanced life support and communication systems. The discovery reveals that empty space itself contains more extractable energy than all the antimatter, rare elements, and exotic materials in the universe combined. This represents a fundamental shift in understanding cosmic value. Because the most precious resource doesn't exist in rare objects scattered across space, but in the fabric of reality itself, accessible anywhere humans develop the technology to extract it. These discoveries represent a fundamental shift in how we understand cosmic wealth and human potential. The universe contains materials and energy sources that dwarf every earthly resource, from antimatter worth trillions per gram to vacuum fields that could power civilization indefinitely. Space holds solutions to problems we thought were unsolvable. Unlimited clean energy, revolutionary materials, and technologies that could transform how humans live and explore. The next few decades will determine whether humanity can access these cosmic treasures or remain limited to admiring them through telescopes. Every space mission and astronomical observation brings us closer to breakthroughs that could reshape civilization completely. The race has already begun between nations recognizing that cosmic resources could determine global leadership for centuries. These discoveries prove the universe offers wealth beyond imagination for those bold enough to reach for it.